So today we talk about Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix is considered, well, at least by Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as they described him as arguably the greatest instrumentalist in the history of rock music. And I can't really disagree with him on that. He was unfortunately a member of the 27 Club, died in 1970 after a very short career, far, far, far too short for what we could have gotten. Well, the type of music he played was acid rock, psychedelic rock, the blues, and R&B. Jimi Hendrix spent a year in the Army in 1961. After he got out, he started playing and ended up playing with the Isley Brothers for about a year, touring with them, then met Little Richard, and I think he only recorded one song with Little Richard. I'm not sure what it is, and I don't know if there's any video. I'm pretty sure there's not. But he played with Little Richard's band through '65. Then he went to the UK, and that's where he started it was helped start for him, the Jimi Hendrix experience, which was Noel Redding on bass and Mitch Mitchell on drums. The other notable band that he recorded with was the band of Gypsys, which was Billy Cox on bass and Buddy Miles on drums. So before we go any further, please sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It's very easy. I make it so easy. All you have to do is just click, click, and you're done. You're done. And you're helping me out. Helps the channel out. Yeah, definitely appreciate it. So notable recordings and in particular videos, because Jimi Hendrix put together 3 extraordinary albums. I mean, just really, really good, groundbreaking, earth-shattering music. If you've never heard Jimi Hendrix before, I mean, this is going to be the rabbit hole that you're really going to just be amazed at, especially when you see him play, because there is some decent video, actually some really good video of his concerts, or some of it. So the Jimi Hendrix Experience put out their first album in 1967 while still in the United Kingdom. It was called Are You Experienced? And this album has so much good stuff on it. Purple Haze, which if you've heard anything about Hendrix, you've heard of this song probably. This is where it starts. There are some very good live versions, but this is the studio version here. Manic Depression, which is a hidden gem. You'll really like this. There's also some really good live versions of this. Hey Joe, one of his first hits. Lover Confusion, May This Be Love, I Don't Live Today, also very good. And there's live ones of this too. The Wind Cries Mary, also a big hit. Fire, Third Stone from the Sun, Foxy Lady, and Are You Experienced? Following this, the next album out was Axis Bold as Love, also in 1967. This included EXP, Up From the Skies, Wait Until Tomorrow, Ain't No Tellin', Little Wing, If Six Were Nine, which is a hidden gem, which there's a little story to that one. Actually, one side of this album, tapes, were left in a taxi cab by Hendrix on the way to the studio and had to be remixed like overnight. So it's not his favorite recording, but it's still very good. If Six Were Nine, You Got Me Floating, Castles Made of Sand. I think there's a really good version of that when he plays in Maui, and I'm pretty sure it's on video as well. She's So Fine, One Rainy Wish, Little Miss Lover, and Bold as Love. Other album looked for is Electric Ladyland, 1968. This included And the Gods Made Love, Have You Ever Been to Electric Ladyland, Crosstown Traffic, Voodoo Child, Little Miss Strange, Come On Part 1, Gypsy Eyes, Burning of the Midnight Lamp, Rainy Day, Dream Away, which is a hidden gem, 1983, A Mermaid I Should Turn to Be, Moon Turn the Tides, Gently, Gently Away, Still Raining, Still Dreaming, another hidden gem, House Burning Down, All Along the Watchtower, not exactly hidden, and Voodoo Child, Slight Return. I know there's at least one good live version of that. That album happened to be one of my first rock and roll albums after I was at least 13. when I started buying decent rock and roll, not pop rock. And I have very fond memories of that album, playing it for years, recording it onto cassette tapes later. And yeah, that was a standard on my playlist. Band of Gypsys, like I said, they did a tour, or did part of a tour, and put out one album. It was a live album. It's a little unusual for the time, but it's gave us some really good versions of some of his work. The live album was done in 1970 and was live at the Fillmore East. Songs were Who Knows, Machine Gun, which is a must listen to, Changes, Power to Love, Message of Love, and We Gotta Live Together. Jimi Hendrix, when he first came to the United States, where he really got famous or got notoriety was his first really big concert, which Paul McCartney went on the board of directors to help get him on the concert for, in, like I said, 1967 at the Monterey Pop Festival. There are recordings of this. The end of it is a must-watch. Some of, a lot of his stuff, when I say at the beginning of the series that, you should stick with the studio versions if you're first listening to it, that's not necessarily the case with Hendrix. He breaks the mold on this. Some of his best stuff was live because watching him perform it was part of the treat. I mean, you could listen to the studios and just scratch your head wondering, how did he make these sounds? How did he do this? And then when you watch him on stage and say, how does he do this? How did he do that? I mean, he was an incredible performer. But in particular on the Monterey Pop Festival, the songs you're looking for are Hey Joe, Wild Thing, and Purple Haze. I think Purple Haze was the last song of that show, and that one's visually impressive. It has the picture of him standing over his guitar was just happened to be captured by somebody at the front of the concert, and it became the album cover for an album, and one of the most iconic photos ever in rock music. So definitely watch it. And I'm sure that if you're a reactor and you're getting into Hendrix, your audience is going to request this one. By the time Woodstock was gearing up in 1969, and when they were looking for acts, Jimi Hendrix was the most highest paid rock musician in the world. I don't know what the figures were, but that's what he was, and he was picked as the headline act for Woodstock, the biggest festival ever at the time. As a result, all of his stuff is recorded, or most of it's recorded. The Woodstock movie has, I'm not sure how many songs. I know it has the Star Spangled Banner and Purple Haze, and those two recordings are really good. If you can find recordings of the other stuff, and I know they exist on YouTube, they're also very good to react to, very good recordings. Other concerts available that are on YouTube and other places be the Royal Albert Hall in 1969, where you'll find Little Wing, Voodoo Child, and Room Full of Mirrors. And also there's a few clips available of the Berkeley Community Theater in 1970 with Machine Gun and Hear My Train A-Coming. Let's see, also Fillmore East. New Year's Eve through 69-70, he played Machine Gun and Stone Free. Those are good recordings. I don't think they're broadcast quality, but they're good recordings. Also, Isle of Wight Festival in 1970. There's a documentary, I think it's called Blue Wild Angel. Jimi Hendrix at the Isle of Wight. Definitely worth checking out. I don't think there's clips. You'll probably have to react to the whole thing. The Atlanta International Pop Festival, where I'm from, in 1970, there's recordings of, and I think it's all in one jump, so you may have to watch the whole concert if you're trying to react to it. You could always cut it into pieces. But Fire, Spanish Castle Magic, Red House, Hear My Train A-Comin', Purple Haze, Hey Joe, and Stone Free. And also they're audio only. There's recordings of Live at Winterland in 1968, Are You Experienced, and Hey Joe. So these are some of the things you can explore, because like I said, there's only 3 albums that he recorded, and there's a lot of material that was posthumously released. So there's a lot of material out there, but you're definitely going to love this rabbit hole called Jimi Hendrix. And again, please subscribe, like. I know you like it. You may not like me, but you like the material. So hit that like, hit that subscribe right over there. Or is it right over there? It's somewhere. Anyway, watch the banana, hit like and subscribe. And more than anything, let the good times roll.